all can I get my episode without any side comments from the peanut gallery?
You're right. My apologies, I'm a gentleman.
Now where was I again? Oh yes, the Vortex Bundler.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. My name is Uncle Warren the Guru, and this is
Uncle Warren, how's those fucking shrooms?
Go.
My name is Uncle Warren, and this is Frogwiftools Bundler. Let's see here. Yes, I do.
Perfect. All right, yeah, we can get right into it.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So first thing first is, I guess we want to go over. You were talking about that the vanities are given. So is that something that's an update, or do you still have the current vanities off scratch?
Yeah, no. So we've always given them. We give like 2 complimentary ones for our trials, just to kind of like show people the process, what it looks like. The reason that we provide the vanities is because, unlike a lot of other bundlers that have a database and like a backend, our whole thing is we're serverless, right?
Right.
And the one thing that was tricky to do was, okay, how do you provide users CAs that end in pump? Now, typically, what a lot of other bundlers do is they have a backend, they have a database, so you make a call to them, they'll return a vanity or a CA to you at some point, or maybe they assign it on launch, or I don't know. Like, I don't know how the other ones work, but for us, we're all 100% localized. There's no backend, there's no servers on our end, which is great because it's great for security, but also it's great for us because we don't got to pay shit. Like, this is
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that more of the reason why the expert, or like maybe more seasoned developer, would have preferred to use like a GUI over a CLI? I mean, sorry, a CLI over a GUI, because of the fact that most of the GUIs are database driven?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm pretty sure we're the only, I'm sure that we're the only UI based 100% like serverless tool out there to like create tokens. And honestly, we're gonna add some other stuff too. That's
If I could say, then is it close to say that this particular bundler is basically like CLI with a GLI face, basically at that point then?
Yeah, like I guess like, you could do everything a CLI could, of course. But yes, we have a full interface, and the I think some of the CLI ones also have the same like issue, right? Because they need to be able to provide CAs in the same way. So those also have a backend. Because they have to give you a CA, right? And they're not kind of doing it like we are, where they'll generate them for you and like give them to you. Or you can, of course, generate them yourselves. Some people just are like, I'd rather just like do it myself as well. So we also give them like a script or some directions so that they can do that. If they prefer to do it that way. Either way, like whatever people want, we provide. But so basically, just kind of show what that looks like is we'll provide like a complimentary. And you still see my screen?
Yeah, I see it. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So we provide like a complimentary like 2 vanities, and like I said, if you go to like a paid plan, then we'll provide like unlimited in like batches of like 100 or whatever. People go through 100 in a day. We're like, all right, cool. There's 100 more. So basically, you put in the and all of vanity is just for like users out there, because I think we get this question like a lot, like how does end in pump, and how does this work? And all of vanity is it's a key pair. It just happens that the public key, which is exactly what your wallet address is, what a CA is, it's the public key of a key pair, right? So you have a public key and a secret key. The secret key is like how you actually access that key pair, right? So that's basically when you go on Phantom and you export your key, and it's like, hey, don't share this. You should not share that, right? Because that's how
Right.
people can actually access, your wallet, which is a key pair.
Yep.
And now in the context of this, it doesn't really matter because it's not a wallet. You can use these addresses as wallets, but
Sure.
in the context of like Pump Fun, it's just as like a CA, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, you enter this, and you'll see that once I enter it, this got added. This was the actual address associated with that key pair.
Okay.
And when we go to launch, in our tokens, they will show up here. Now, when you actually go to launch something, I'll just show an example. Of course, you can do a new launch or a copy. If you did a copy for us,
Uh-huh.
also you can't copy that one. I didn't launch it, but I could copy this because this has been launched. So if we go here, hit copy, put this here, and then we have the option to choose the vanity. Not if you don't choose it, it will assign it a random public key. That will not end in pump, right? So you toggle this on, it'll tell you which address it's going to assign to it. You'll have it before your launch. You can hit copy. You can copy, any pump fund token. I'm just copying a Frogwiftools launch.
Nice. Okay.
And that's what it looks like, right? They're all here. The one thing with us too is you can queue a bunch of these up. Like if you see a token that you like, you're like, oh, I want to like save that for later. Or if you have an idea, you can actually like almost like create a bunch of like tokens here, and you don't got to use them. You can archive them too. Sometimes I get like an idea of my, oh, this would be like good, but I just don't have the time to set it up, right? This would be like a great place to like jot that idea down, maybe set it up, and then come back to it when you have the time to set everything up, a
For sure.
site or whatever. So I'm gonna just kind of go through the process of actually like launching something.
Okay.
Here is here's like one that I had like kind of set up a little before we started, so I could like walk through it. So yeah, once you create your socials and all that stuff, and I already went and I copied one that I already did, so
Sure.
things are already assigned here. And then of course you could save it if you edit it, you do whatever. Now when you get to the launch stage, this is kind of where all the fun stuff happens.
Mhm.
Select your dev wallet. With our wallets, let me kind of show you this real quick.
Okay.
You like rename them. You create if you want to import a wallet. You can fund. We have two options: a standard option and a mixer that
Okay.
bypasses bubble maps. And then the ability to tag. I'll kind of just show what that looks like. The tag, we can tag all these platforms. You could warm wallets, select multiple. You can, warm them at whatever like delay interval and all these like different settings you want. Of course, withdraw, export into a CSV if you want to export all your wallets. And then we also have this. We added this like last release. It's a redistribute button. And so after a launch, what we kind of found that was like annoying. So yeah, if you had like two ideas back to back, right?
Right. Right.
It was like now annoying to like go back and like reset up everything.
Sure.
And so we quickly added this like redistribute button, which runs it through the whole mixing process, and goes through all that
So it's the
again, right,
redistribute.
automatically. Mhm.
So is there essentially the redistribute button there that is the mixer, right? Then, if I'm not mistaken, you said there's another mixer, or there was just two. One.
Right. So there's like two different things, right? So the mixer, there's a mixer. I'll show you there what that looks like. You go to fund, let's say you wanted to fund these two. You got standard mode and you got a mixer mode, right?
I would assume the standard mode is just like almost going straight from like wallet to wallet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct. Exactly. And then a mixer, obviously takes a little, a little longer, but about like a minute or two. But it's clean, right?
Yeah.
Now what the redistribute does is you have to like mix again, but you have to like typically when you like mix and stuff, like it comes from like a source, so it's like a way where you don't have to aggregate it to one and then just distribute again. It kind of like does it automatically, right? So like you don't have to like provide this private key. It's kind of just like a lazy button to just hit it.
Which is
So like the
standard
wallets.
now.
No. The redistribute will mix it for you. But this is like after a launch, right? Like it's just
Gotcha.
setting you up for another launch.
Gotcha.
It's basically saying, hey, this launch already happened. You can select those wallets again and then like redistribute them. And I guess I never thought about it. You could actually probably mix it that way too. But
Gotcha.
what that one doesn't do is you provide a private key here. So like this is typically when you're funding from like some external source or whatnot, right?
Right.
The redistribute means the funds are already like on the platform, like on on your wallets that are listed here. There's no private key, right? You just basically hit redistribute funds. It knows that the funds are in the wallets you've selected, and it will just basically create new wallets with the funds redistributed into them, if that makes sense.
So the question of that matter, I guess, would be that
Mhm.
the redistribute feature is that you said is that more of like a post production thing or pre-production?
Correct. It's a post. It's like, hey, some people like spam launch, right? So
Right.
they want to launch like, throughout the day, right? Now in order for them to use like the mixer with the private key is like they'll now have to like copy the private key.
Mhm.
You'll have to like move it to one wallet and then mix it out again using the private key, right? Or you'll use it from your wallet. Now what the redistribute button does is saying that, hey, you already have the funds here, right, in all these wallets.
Mhm.
Maybe now I just want to like click these and like redistribute them to create 3 newer wallets with those funds,
Mhm.
but they're clean again.
Gotcha.
So that's what that does.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like a post prod, or maybe your funds are already in these wallets and you kind of want to just set it up again and go. So
Gotcha. So basically, theoretically speaking, this would allows it to be where after you've done a specific launch, right? You distribute the funds, so theoretically you can do a secondary launch without having to relaunch from the same dev wallets, or does it does
yeah,
launch from the same dev wallets? I mean, not the dev wallet,
no,
the bundler wallets.
it's all separate wallets, but all it does is it just saves you like 2 manual steps of like having to consolidate the funds to a wallet and then basically remix it. It just
Right.
basically is like a one quick button just to like do it.
Now, quick question: when you do the redistribute, does that mean that the wallets themselves automatically in the actual bot get changed again, and then with the
Yep.
naming process already?
Yep, it'll be new wallets. Completely new wallets will get generated here.
You have to rename them again, basically, though.
No. Well, yeah. If you they'll get assigned names again, and yeah, you can rename them to what you would like. That way, it doesn't get confusing. Because if I, call it the same thing, then of course you can see that the funds are different, but
Right.
it just something to make it, I guess, less
That's really
confusing.
cool.
It's just assign a different name,
I don't think I've seen that in
and then
any
you
other
can.
bundler too. The redistribute feature. It's more like you got to start all over from scratch as the fund, from the funder. You know.
Yeah, exactly. So I think now some of the stuff we're doing now is just like, all right, like what, like what makes our lives easier, and I think now we're starting to like understand some of the like pain points, and then maybe building features that maybe some others don't have, and kind of like trying to think about it in a way where it's like, all right, how can we do this quickly? How can we like enjoy doing this, right? And I think some of these things were super annoying. Like sometimes I had an idea and I was like, yeah, not gonna lie, I don't feel like setting this up, right? Even though it takes like even though it takes like 2 minutes, right?
So I had a question
But
for you
yeah.
actually. When it comes to specifically the ends, as far as buys is one thing, but specifically when it comes to the sales, does the bot have also specific market cap limiters?
Okay, yeah. So let's go into that, right? You're talking about where I'm going to touch here, right? So one of the newer things we added to, so we got this. Let's set up this launch real quick.
Okay.
One of the things that we had added here was this automations, this all like whole automation concept, right? And
Right.
so with that, uh, we'll get to it in a second. We'll just kind of go through the bundling and sniping real quick, and then I'll talk about this because this is kind of where I'll spend most of our time.
All right.
All right. So of course we have two bundle modes. Safe mode doesn't look organic. No matter what,
Locked. It's like the bubbles are
yeah,
attached.
they're gonna be attached on top of it. Like it just looks super fake.
Yeah, it
Like
don't work
it's just it does not work at all.
Yeah.
Even if maps, they didn't even show up on maps, it just doesn't work. Like people will see it immediately and they're like, I know what that is.
I'm gonna say this though, like just for some of those other cookers that might be listening here. If you have like such a crazy narrative and like also such a bullish like project, anybody's gonna buy anything. Just because I know that for a fact, because the last, not to mention the bundler, but the last project that I launched was on the day that the bubble maps was updated. And I didn't even realize, sometimes you walk in and you shoot off the triggers, you don't even realize bubble maps did a whole full 3.0 update, and everybody's scrambling along to figure out how to mitigate. Like we already done it so far, but it happened in base a couple of days ago, a week ago or so. And so I had that happen and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I just gotta roll with the punches. I already paid for decks. And motherfuckers still bought. So it could be possible. It's just very hard. I mean, it could sit like way farther without that,
Yeah, for sure. And like there's some cases where like this will still work. Like you mentioned, like you hit like a flower coin, people know it, but they're like, all right, it's gonna probably run, and maybe I can get in and out, right? Or maybe you bundle it straight to like bonding, and then it's gonna still take off after there, right? So there are some cases for it, but typically if you're gonna launch we've had some people that just like want to ChatGPT generated like a really crappy image and did this and saying, bro, no buys. It's like, let me see what you did, right?
And I was gonna ask
you put like
No, absolutely. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was going to ask you though, when it comes to specifically some of the metrics that are in some of the the ecosystem here. I know the one thing obviously is the bubble maps, but the second thing, which is kind of derivative of it, which is the insider. This as far as the insider top 10 holder, right? Now, obviously everyone has their methods or whatnot, but what would you recommend for people coming in, right, that's using Frogwiftools specifically, that obviously know they're going to go use quickscope because they don't want to get bubble map detected, but what would you recommend for their whole setup with dev, sniper, et cetera, to really push that 10 to 15% and but still own up the majority of the floor at the same time?
Yeah, I think like because another thing that like quickscope, the thing is now these tools, what they'll do is like if you get 5 of the same buy in the same like that block with the mint creation, they'll just assume that everyone's tied together, right? Like sometimes there's one time where like a random sniper that's not even associated with any of my wallets was like tied in with me as like, hey, this is part of the dev team, right? So what I typically do is like, like on the blockchain itself, like quickscope is not attached to anything, right? However, if it's in the same block, like you have 4 plus the dev, and that's 5, it will automatically get flagged even if there's no like correlation on the chain, right?
And that's
so what I typically recommend.
You said
it's with quickscope. So typically what I do is I don't use all 4. I'll use 2 to 3. I'll leave one
due to the fact that the Bullix Axiom and other platforms like that in nature are essentially really heavy on the sniper scopes, basically.
Basically, they're saying, hey, if this is in the same block as the mint, then like it's like they're basically saying we're probably gonna catch more bundlers this way than like actual use cases where someone actually had 5 transactions that bought in the same block as the mint, right? So they'll just like,
I was gonna say that makes some sense. So that really brings me actually to my next point here in my notes, is the bundle of a delay, which I'm sure that we're gonna go into now.
Yeah, so there's like whole delayed concept so here's the thing, like a bundle, I know this term gets thrown around a lot, but
Mhm.
what we call a bundle is like the transactions are submitted together. Now we're working on some other things too to kind of like uh help with this, but I typically think like if it's even if it's delayed, like there's a chance that someone gets in front of you, right?
For sure.
And you don't want that because that's how you will lose a ton of like bread. So what I even recommend for other people is you kind of like launch with some of these automations. I'll kind of show how you can, start buying up the floor.
Mhm.
But you can kind of in our app see when the snipers leave and then start doing it that way. Just solves two things.
Right.
Looks more organic, and also you have full control of the situation. Right when you do a delayed,
Exactly.
you're kind of praying that you don't get sniped to hell.
Oh,
Otherwise,
I
you
got
will
you.
lose a lot of money that way.
So theoretically, I got you. So technically, we got two situations, I guess, and from keywords perspectives, we have quote unquote bundling, right, and then we have mass sniping, right. I guess we could say, right. And so, what I'm, I guess, referring to essentially is not essentially like a delay where there's like a 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, and then it's going to hit.
Yeah.
We're talking more so like there's a dev buy in, dev buy out, and then you control when to bring in the bundles.
Right. So you can do that with like our volume. It can happen like pretty instantly.
Nice.
And I'll kind of like show you like what that means. So let me just
Beautiful.
and let me show you we have these like sniping abilities with these wallets. You can toggle between for each one you could toggle whether you want to go through Jito or your RPC.
Now, for those that are new, you
Mhm.
recommend as far as the Jito and RPC, because back in the day, people were really heavy in the RPC world, but now we find out the Jito might be just as good. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it just honestly depends on what like some people have really good RPCs.
Does it get flagged more as a
And
Jito as a bot, you think?
no, I don't. I think it just has to do with like speed. Jito recently has been kind of ass low key.
Really?
They've been yeah, they just like have like a lot of problems and
Oh,
it's just
wow.
been like kind of annoying.
Oh, wow.
To like I mean it hasn't like stopped working, right? But I
Yeah.
just don't think it's been as good as maybe it previously was. So uh sometimes the RPCs like land even quicker than Jito. And I don't even have like a crazy RPC, but some people have like a crazy setup, right? And at that
Mm-hmm.
point you could do some tests and just see like what's landing quicker. We're
Yeah.
actually gonna like make some changes, so it should be like a big speed boost and a couple like cool things that are kind of like in the works right now. Uh,
Okay. Cool.
but yeah, um, but I think for most people, I would still like maybe go through Jito. Um, yeah, their Mev protection isn't uh as advertised like as maybe what it once maybe was. So
Mhm.
it's just like some of the cool things about it. I think they're not there anymore. So I'm like, all right, why am I paying extra fees if I don't need to at times, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's just it's kind of depends on like what level you're at, right? Like I think if you know what you're doing,
Right.
you know how to toggle efficiently. But if you don't, then maybe just stick with what you know until
No.
you kind of like understand like how both work
Mhm.
and maybe like do some tests, smaller tests and things like that.
Now, I was going to ask you, speaking of like, from my understanding, the automation and task sets that you currently have within
Mhm.
Frogwiftools are theoretically, if done correctly, with the delay specifically alongside with like the dev buy, dev sell, and then of course the add volume. You're basically at that point painting a chart regardless because of the fact of
Yep,
yeah.
you could definitely paint a chart. The reason we wrote it this way was because like I hate launching sometimes because I'm just like when I'm there I'm like shit, you know. So this is kind of nice because it's very organized prior to your launch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like run through it real quick, and then I'll kind of show you what I mean, right?
That's what-
So yeah, so this is kind of like I don't know. To me, it's our like favorite feature. that we've added. We're
Okay.
we're adding some more to it as well.
All right.
But I think right now we have like some pretty good ones. So we have this add task button. So you could add volume, you could do bumps, you could do a bulk sell, which a mass sell, whether it's 2, 3, all, whatever, right?
Right.
You can buy an individual token and you can sell an individual token. Those are all the like functionalities that you can automate and like queue up, right? I already set up 2 prior to the call and saved them real quick. So the ones I set up, and I'm gonna add one like live here. So I set up a dev cell, and I said, hey, sell this automatically at 5 seconds, right? And so post launch, you'll see that. Keep an eye on it. You'll see that this automatically sells after 5 seconds, right?
Thanks.
And then I did a add volume. Now I left this as manual because I wanted to show what this looked like. And I set a delay for like 1 to 6 seconds, I think.
And
So
also, by the way, speaking of that, right there, you know, with the manual there, you're theoretically also prohibiting from any type of snipers to jumping in because you can control the situation.
You control exactly when you want this to run, right? Now let me show you guys like the these are cool delay and manual, but I think the things that people really want to probably see are like and I'll probably do I'll just do like an example. I'll do sell, right? So let's say I wanted to sell one of these, I'll say 100%, right?
Right.
And here is the cool thing, right? So now this guy, I can set it to, you have manual, you have the delay, but now you also have market cap and profit, right? So if I said, hey, I want to sell this at 10K, I could say sell this at 10K. If I said, hey, I want to make a profit of 1 sol and I won't sell until 1 sol, right? You could say that. You could run any of these at this point, right? So maybe you're like even like, hey, I can add volume at 10K, right? Like this is how you can really paint the chart, right? You can say, hey, when it hits this threshold, do this, right? Do that, like perform this task at this point. We'll probably add like most of our other functionality in these tasks too. It's very easy for us to do, but that way you could control like any type of automation you want at any point.
If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but the bot is already set up to basically automatically be configured for pump fund and pump swap without any type of like hiccups. It's just already serendipity, right?
Yeah, it supports. Yeah, it supports both.
It doesn't support radium though. I suppose, right?
No, we didn't. We were moving our radium code over, but that same week,
they swapped.
Literally, they swapped, right? And so I was like, and I was kind of blown because when we started, like, because we didn't start writing a bomb. We had already like written like copy bought a sniper bot for like personal use, right?
Okay.
So our radium code was actually like great. I wrote it, I refactored it, and I refactored it again. So it was like actually like really good, right? And I heard a lot of people had issues with radium, and like
no, they did.
I don't know, like it was
an issue for sure.
Yeah, and so I kind of was like, damn, I can't wait for this because this is gonna be great, like because our shit was working like phenomenally, you know.
Wow.
And yeah, then they.
I'm sorry, but I just was looking at your screen and I just thought of myself. Theoretically speaking, someone can be able to put a what's it called, a add task setting where there's a profit set up for like, for example, 0.25 sell, and you could theoretically farm the charts with this task set automation.
100%.
Wow.
You queue up a bunch of these, and
can you save the entirety of the task sets as like as like a profile,
like a preset?
Yeah, preset.
Yeah, we're working on that one. Just gotta like work out a few things. But yeah, that's definitely.
You got that Frogwiftools preset.
Oh yeah, no. Best believe that is
preset.
best believe those strategies are something that we are definitely thinking about as like,
You already see where
hey,
my brain's
this
going
is,
with this. I'm like, yeah, let me
oh
get
yeah,
myself for the preset.
10,000%. That's where this is going to, right? Like
And nobody
like
has that.
having
Nobody has that like the
yeah,
internet.
you have a strategy. Like it's literally end to end. Like, hey, this is Uncle Warren's strategy. Boom.
Literally.
Like
So,
you had it set up, and it's like, all right, boom, right? So that's the beauty of it, right?
yeah.
And so yeah, I'm kind of glad that your mind went there. I guess you let the cat out the bag. But yeah, that's something that we're definitely looking at
That's awesome.
doing.
Because I can just see literally a
And
save
mhm,
parameter literally on the desktop. You can literally open up, import, and then boom, it's all set. Simple.
mhm. Yep, yes, sir, and that's exactly where we're going. So yeah, so of course, you could do any of these profit or market cap. And we're gonna add some more here that we think of. I have some like ideas
This
already.
is global,
So
right? This particular automation is not for this particular token. It's global.
you can do this for every token.
Okay, so right now we're seeing this right now. Is this specifically just doing this automation for this particular token, or is this a global setting right now?
No, this is for this like launch and this
Okay,
token. But
so
of
this so
course,
it's
you could.
individual. Nice.
It's individual, right? But when you do like a preset, you'll be able to just quickly,
Import, right?
basically click import it, and then all right, now that strategy is applied to this launch.
Super sweet. I can see.
Um,
I totally see the
yeah.
future of that. No.
So I'm gonna get rid of this one so it's less
Okay.
confusing when we run. Uh, so yeah, I'm just gonna for this just do a delay and a manual. So because I really want people to see what this manual one looks like. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're not gonna bundle anything. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and launch this. It's a very small launch, and it's Frogwiftools, so it's
Nice.
funny enough. Some people bought it yesterday, and I was like, oh, that's actually funny because
I
it's not
see
even
them
like
low key. I'm not even hold you. I'm like, yo, I'd be seeing the firewall tools up there. I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah. Oh, and if you look, we've been and so all right. So here, I just want to show like a few things, right? All right. So you'll see that this dev the 5 seconds past dev cell is running. Uh,
All running from the
these
one
are
machine.
and this is all
Wow.
like these are all like buys and sells coming in.
Yeah, this right here, no one really has too, like low key too. I'm not gonna hold you. So this is like that whitelist setting where you can see who's bought in, who hasn't bought in, right? People
Mhm.
actually buying it though.
And
Yeah.
and so the other thing is, and here's our like console where we like log every event, and then you can kind of go through and see like what's happening.
Is that saved onto the
Which
desktop?
it's saved on your machine. Everything, all your data is saved on your
Nice.
maching.
And that way I can
Yeah,
just
there
send that
we
over
don't.
to the Discord as a support ticket if anything happened in the future.
Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people do that. They're like, "Hey, can you help us read through this?" And
Nice.
what am I doing? Typically, most times, it's fee related. Like people have like maybe one soul in their wallet, and they're like, "All right,
Right.
buy with one soul." And I'm like, we have like some checkers for that, but sometimes people just don't like read what's on the screen. Like we have like a little indicator that tells you, hey, this is too close to like your full balance. Like you should cut it
Yeah.
down a little bit for fees.
Right.
But
And
I think sometimes
theoretically,
there's like a
I was gonna say theoretically, people don't have to even leave their screen. They can literally sit here,
mhm,
see the P&L, see the mounts, token
mhm.
holdings, like bonding, like literally everything's here. You don't even have to see the up and down, the green and the red.
Yep. And so it tells you everything. So this is the amount you hold on this wallet. Um, this is the amount you hold on all wallets.
Nice.
Market cap, price, your amount that you have invested, the amount that you currently hold, and then the P&L. And this is obviously uh, 0.03 was how much you pay. Typically costs like 0.03 to launch from dev.
Yep.
So you're already kind of like 0.03 always in the hole for just fees on a launch,
That's what's up.
for like small, even like small launch. But let me show you this. So this volume thing gets like queued here, right? Of
Okay.
course, if I hit the stop, it'll go away.
Right.
You have the history of your task for this token
Oh,
if you want to
cool.
see.
And it was completed. Nice.
Um, and we saw the dev cell happening live. We of course the launch happened, and then we saw this happen right
Right.
automatically. And then for volume, I'm gonna go ahead and play this,
Nice.
and you'll see. Um, The grayed out ones are your own wallets. If you hover over it, it should tell you here. Yeah, so it tells you. It's like I don't know if y'all saw it for a second, but you hover over it, it'll tell you. Here, yeah, so like
External wallet.
external wallet, right?
Yeah,
And so the gray ones are yours, and you just saw the 3
purple ones
volume
are the
task.
ones.
And I had them queued up for a random delay from 1 to 6 seconds. So you'll see that it bought randomly between 1 and 6. But of course, you could queue it up to be like, hey, buy all these immediately.
So, question for you then.
Mhm.
And I had asked this to another person. He was like, "No, it's not working quite this way, but in the future, I just wanted to know if since you already have an automation system, and unlike a lot of these Telegram bots that don't have an automation system, so that really any bot really that matter. I was wondering, so if a person was to put like, let's say the task set said, within the bundle to sell profit of, let's say, every time, let's say, I don't know, 0.25 or something, right? An ideal it would do, it's like whenever a buy comes in, let's say a buy came in for like $100, right? It would automatically take 20% of that, that value, and try to sell that token. Now the thing about it is, I wonder if they can do that, and two, if it can, if it's bundle, let's say you'll have 10% on one wallet, another 10% on another wallet. Does it recognize that and just double dip on that, or do you understand where I'm coming from?
You're saying I think you lost me with the so it treats your wallet. I don't know if this will answer, but it treats all of what you own as a, hey, this is my wallet, right? And once you're like, whatever you set your profit to, it will say, hey, I've reached my trigger, profit trigger, and just to when you set it up, right, you could kind of do anything, right? You could say, hey, I just want to sell this wallet when I hit this profit, right? Like that profit could be like all your, because it's all your wallets combined, right? But you could say, hey, sell them all, or just sell one, or you can do anything. So yes, you can set it up however you want. You just got to kind of like you kind of have, and people have asked like, hey, how do you do this, right? And we'll kind of walk them through, hey, if this is what you're trying to do, then this is how to do it, right? But you literally have full control over how you want to do it.
What's up?
So that's like the beauty of it.
Are you able to claim your dev fees in this Frogwiftools yet?
This is the creator fees?
Yeah.
No, not yet. Yeah, we're gonna add that. But yeah, not yet.
Okay, for sure.
You can still get them. It's just not through the app yet.
Okay, cool.
So
cool.
Yeah, it's on the map.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool, man. So
yeah,
now,
and so
we'll sell everything.
Yeah, so we'll sell everything, of course. You could toggle again here, and of course, post launch you can always do a bulk sell.
And rethinking balances is basically just to make sure you have updated everything from what you've done from the buy and sells.
Yeah, just in case something gets into like a weird state, you could just resync. Resync your soul balance, resync your total balances. It automatically does do it, but like I said, if it gets into a weird state where maybe your RPC, didn't successfully make a call or something, right? You can run this again so that it does make a call again, and then fetches everything. Of course, you have your PNL. Like I said, the whole.
I was gonna say, I don't see this in any other type of bundle, and maybe it's because it requires API. I'm not sure if it does or not, but it'd be interesting if you just had bubble maps link there, or even if it's an external link, so they can just quickly look at their shit.
Yeah, so it's not to bubble maps itself, because I think each site has there's like bubble maps is created by this software called InsideX, or this company called InsideX, and then it's like you probably have like an SDK that these tools like Pump Fun and stuff use, right? And they integrate it with their app, so you could go to you can and even in your settings, there's like an option where you can actually open any of these on launch automatically, so you don't even have to click it; it'll fire up in your browser.
Nice.
But yeah, of course, we also have them here, so you can open any of the the top tools here.
Nice.
And then you could basically quickly like generate like a maps for it and see like what's going on. Yeah, of course, like, I have all these buttons here. Once you're done with the token, you can hit archive.
Now, quick
And
question. If I'm
mhm.
not mistaken, if I think we had this talk before, but I believe you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, we can do up to 120, 124 wallets. Like,
You can do you're saying like the bundle?
yeah,
You could
bundle.
yeah, so also with the bundle, right? There's I know people say you can bundle up to 120. That's not a real thing either.
Yeah,
Why I say that's not a real thing is a bundle can only be 20 wallets max because of size constraints.
right.
Uh,
A mass
if
snipe at that point.
you're basically saying, "Hey, we were just gonna generate like 6 bundles for you," but that's not a bundle.
Right.
That's 6 individual bundles, which means that there is a chance that stuff happens in between there, right?
Sure.
So I just don't feel like that's an accurate thing to say, but and yeah, we're not gonna say yeah, surely yeah, you could do that on with some of the stuff we have, but
It's just going to be
I just like I said,
preferential that people will be able to buy in between
yeah,
particular sectors.
and so we don't like to say stuff like that because
Yeah,
it's not accurate.
right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like a truthful statement because then when something does go wrong, people are getting mad, right? And so
Right.
we're just like a bundle is 20 wallets that are lumped together.
Yep.
That is the max because that is like a Solana thing. That's not even like uh yeah, it's not even like controllable, I guess. But and like I said, it's a constraint thing in terms of how big a transaction can be, and then how like Jito supports like having 5 transactions max in a bundle, right? So it's basically
Right.
5 times however many you can cram into those 5, right?
Right.
Um, and so and then the max you can do is 20.
Okay. Cool.
So 20, yeah, it's 20ish, but yeah, it's definitely not 120. So,
For sure. Right on. Right on.
but yeah.
Cool, man. Well, this is freaking amazing, man.
Mhm.
So furthermore, we have, let's see here. We got the pond. I love how you have it says pond. I'll give the ecosystem.
Yes. So I'm not gonna like demo this here. I'll maybe like link like a screenshot to something that we're doing. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't want to tease it here. I'm still
Yeah.
working on it, but
All right. That's
there's
like
a
when the
yeah, there's
works.
a in the works. But
Cool.
it is it does look cool. I'll maybe like drop like
Yeah, we'll do
a
a part two. Of
screenshot for
course, we'll do
you.
more. Of course.
Yeah, or part 2 for sure, for sure, for sure.
Man, thank you
Um,
so much for this. So
mhm.
we're gonna do a sell all, and can we look at the charts real quick?
Yeah.
So it's a recording real quick, before we go, so the people can see
Um,
the
so I have like yeah, like the like bubble maps.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
You're saying like so I mean these are like really small buys, so it's not even like gonna be a real
Yeah.
bubble maps. Maybe we can link it. Maybe we can like maybe we can link a bigger one I did yesterday or
Sure.
something. I
Sure.
don't know.
Absolutely.
Or like an image or something.
Yeah.
I'll send you some images that we did.
Okay.
But yeah, this is like so small that
Yeah, it won't even matter,
I
right?
think bubble maps sometimes, yeah, they kind of like ignore it sometimes if it's too small.
Yeah. I got you.
Um, and yeah, so yeah, we could do if you want to do like a sell all, we can just do like a
Okay.
sell all. So
Oh,
start as a test, and then you'll see that it just basically updates. Boom,
voila.
to the cells. Yep, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Beautiful, man.
Once you're done, you can just hit archive, or you can just go back to tokens or
Yeah.
anything else. I said Pond is in the works. Some cool stuff that's gonna be displayed there. Yeah, man,
No doubt,
that's
bro.
pretty much it.
That's dope. You
Super
guys are
super
cooking
excited.
so much. I'm so proud of you, man. I'm gonna be putting this out after I edit it up. And I know that a lot of people are gonna love this, especially the guys that are on the teeter tots, because I know a couple guys I've seen on Instagram was sharing CLIs that they probably wish they could get this, knowing that it's even more protective for them, and
Yeah,
probably cheaper too.
yeah, it's more protective. It's cheaper. I think we're probably one of the like most affordable ones out there. And that's not on like purpose. Like for us, we don't have any costs. So like, and we build this in house, right? So
Yeah.
we don't hire anyone. We're not gonna ever hire anyone. It's just me and my co-founder. We're both like like engineers, so it's just like something we do for fun.
So,
And yeah, we're keeping it affordable. I think the dope thing is like we're also trying to do something cool. I think kind of like give like a little shout out here to you. We want to like give it kind of like a package, if you will, right? So you can get some training from Warren, get our bundler, all for like a good price. It's probably like between 8 to 10 SOL, I think is what we're thinking with Uncle Warren. So and that will get you all that. And depending on when you buy, it's like 8 to 10. Like sometimes you have like promos, and
we
that's
can
why I
always
say
do a
that.
ticket too. I'll have you in the ticket, so you could always answer questions for them
Hmm.
too. Those that are.
And then and the one other thing that we do is we offer like free trials. I think nobody else does that. Like we actually want people to like
That's dope.
check it out, and just being like super transparent with it. So
I'm gonna tell them too.
yeah, so
I'm gonna tell them to open it up,
yeah,
blast it out, free try everybody.
yeah, we
That's
we
what I'm
we have a
doing.
we have a free trial, like no hard feelings if you end up going with somebody else, but I would say at least like try it out, right? Like
Right.
I mean, it's free, right? Like you have nothing to lose before you make your decision. Um, and the other thing is, yeah, it also supports XIT. I know we didn't like show it here, but it supports XIT, which I'm sure people that are watching this know that
Oh,
Uncle's been putting in a lot of
you
work.
got a lot of definitely
Uh,
projects coming out the way, man. I appreciate it, brother.
mhm.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna
And
definitely
so
cook this up for show and put this out on the Tubi.
yeah, nice. And yeah, so I know we didn't demo it here, but yeah, it works with your tool very well. And yeah, excited to see it being used with your tool as well. So
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. So yeah, let's definitely touch bases. I'm gonna actually bring my computer with me when I'm on the road. I gotta jump on a flight tomorrow.
yeah,
But let's definitely touch bases when I hit the ground, and we'll definitely tie into it after the people see the first jolts of this beautiful, beautiful software.
yeah, appreciate you, brother. Enjoy your trip,
Pleasure's
and
all mine.
yeah, we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, blessed day, brother. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, yeah, you too, man.
God bless, brother.